If you're looking for the best sugar waxing guide on the internet, you're in the right place. Today, I'm going to walk you through it step by step and demo a leg sugar wax on myself to show you just how simple getting started with sugar waxing can be. Hi, I'm Annie, and this is my new channel for my shop, Greenhouse Deco. I make body care and lifestyle goodies, and I make the best-selling sugar waxing products on TikTok Shop. With TikTok potentially getting banned soon, I'm moving my content over here, and I'll be making a lot more long-form, in-depth videos just like this one. So if you're interested in learning how to sugar wax at home and you find this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and let me know your questions and your thoughts in the comments. So we're going to go through my guide one step at a time, and I'm going to show you how everything works in a leg wax. Let's get started. This is my guide. It's always free, and I will link it down in the description for you. Step one, we want to prep our skin. So it's super important to start with clean, dry skin when you sugar wax. So if there's any oil or lotion on your skin, the wax may not adhere properly. If you have any moisture of any kind, the wax will slip and not grip onto the hairs. So I always recommend using a mild soap to wash away any oils or lotion on the skin. You can also opt to use a cotton pad and rubbing alcohol as well, as long as the area is clean and dry to start with. So next, you want to sprinkle powder onto your skin, which is going to absorb any moisture and create a smooth waxing surface. Using powder is an absolutely essential step in the sugar waxing process. Not only does it create a cushiony barrier between the skin and the sugar wax, which reduces the removal pain and keeps the sugar wax from adhering to the skin itself, the powder overall reduces the stickiness of the process as well. Think of powder like flour when baking bread. After you applied your powder, it's time for the next step, which is prepping your sugar wax. So because sugar wax is a natural substance, the consistency changes based on the temperature. Heat it up and it turns hot and liquidy. Cool it down and it turns solid and hard. It's really important for your sugar wax to be at the right consistency to give you the best results. If you store your wax at room temperature, just in a cool, dry place, you can slowly ease it from the jar by using the warmth of your fingers and scooping it out. But if you want a little bit more ease to removing it from the jar, you can microwave it for about 5 to 7 seconds. I usually microwave it for about 7 seconds when I store it at room temperature because it gets it just gooey enough to start working with. If you store your sugar wax in the refrigerator, you'll need to either microwave your jar briefly in about 5 to 7 second intervals until it looks like this. Now you do not want it to be hot or runny like this, because that can burn your skin and you will not be able to grab onto it. If you overwarm it, don't worry. You can either let it rest on the counter for a while or throw it back in the fridge. You can also warm your sugar wax to the perfect consistency by placing it in a bowl of warm water. Next is how much to grab out per area. For the brows and lips, it's about the size of a blueberry, and for the legs, the size of the sugar wax is about the size of your palm. Basically just a good glob that you can hold on to and use over your legs. So this chart is a recommended starting point. The amount you need will vary from person to person. Over time, the more that you get used to the technique, the less sugar that it will likely use. So don't be discouraged if you feel like your first few sessions you use a little bit more than suggested. Now to finish prepping your sugar wax. You want to knead it between your fingers until it turns opaque like golden taffy. This final step warms the sugar wax up to your body temperature and makes it an ideal consistency for spreading. So if you did warm your sugar wax in the microwave or you use the warm water method and it's gooey enough to spread, you can skip the kneading and go to the next step. Now we're going to talk about the basics of sugaring, how it works, and the technique. It's really important to get familiar with the sugar waxing technique before you dive into an area, especially if it's a sensitive area such as the bikini, because there is a technique here and there are steps that are essential to getting you the results that you're looking for. Your sugar wax should be applied in the opposite direction of your hair growth. So you want to take your sugar wax and place it at the base of where you want to wax, allowing it to soften on your skin for just a moment. You will feel it soften, and there will be a natural glide to applying the sugar wax. You don't want to apply too much pressure. You will feel the sugar wax soften with your body temperature and become simple to glide. As you apply it, you want to mold it to the skin 3 times. This helps ensure that the wax encases and adheres strongly to all the hairs. Doing this helps a lot by ensuring that you don't have to apply and remove the wax too many times over the same area, which could add irritation. It's important to note that if at any point you find yourself in a sticky situation, don't worry. Sugar wax is water soluble, so you can easily dissolve it from your skin with warm water. Then you can pat the area dry, reapply powder, and start again. So before you remove the wax, you want to make sure that you're holding the skin taut. This is important for preventing bruising because it keeps the skin from lifting with the wax. If you don't follow this step, the skin will lift and it will bounce back. This can damage the underlying tissue and cause bruising. So when you're ready to remove the wax, you want to pull it in a swift motion in the same direction that your hair grows, in a parallel motion. Pulling it parallel means not pulling up when you remove it, but pulling along the surface of your skin. Understanding this technique is so important for getting the results you're looking for. You can keep reusing the same piece of sugar wax throughout your session until it is thick with hair and has lost its elasticity. And it can go for a long time. For instance, I can use the same amount to wax both of my legs before it is unusable. In this section, I go through the details of how to use your sugar wax with strips. I'm not going to get into that in this video, so feel free to pause to follow along, and I'll be making more videos about this in the future. In this section, I have some tips for the different areas that you can wax. This is where you can find my Brazilian waxing guide, and you can see a couple tips for the leg wax. After you wax, you want to follow these steps to minimize irritation and promote healthy skin recovery. So after you wax, you want to remove any residue using a warm cloth, or you can hop in the shower and rinse off. So next, you want to apply some soothing aftercare. You can use an aloe, or you can use an unscented, alcohol-free witch hazel. And then you can moisturize with something that's fragrance-free and non-comedogenic. It's very important to make sure you are using non-comedogenic moisturizers when you wax. This just means the ingredients in the product won't clog your pores. My favorite thing to use is just a simple jojoba oil. You can also use grapeseed oil, rosehip oil, whatever agrees with your skin. Applying soothing and moisturizing aftercare helps with irritation and redness. It is totally normal to have some redness after waxing for a couple of hours. Here's a side-by-side from the next day. The redness is gone and my skin feels so silky. So the next things are things you want to avoid. So you want to avoid hot baths, saunas, sexual activity, especially if it's your bikini area, and swimming for about 24 to 48 hours after you wax. In addition, you want to avoid anything with fragrance because that can also cause skin irritation. You want to remember that your pores were just opened up to the world and anything that you put in them will get right in there. So keeping it fragrance-free and simple is key. All right, so now you're ready for your first at-home sugaring session. I think that you'll get the hang of things with no problem. Practicing is the most important part of learning to sugar wax. So if you have any additional questions, put them in the comments below and I would be happy to help you out. And then down at the very bottom here is the FAQ. I won't get into the details of the FAQ, but it is full of detailed responses to our most frequently asked questions, such as, what is sugar wax? Does it hurt? How do I prevent bruising? How do I take care of my cloth strips? What do I do with my used wax? How often should I wax? How long can I store this? How? All the things that you need to know. So I won't go over the details of that in this video, but I will be in my next one. If you want to be notified for that video, click the little bell and you'll get a notification when I post. See you next time!